Give us an intro, Eddie.
Oh, hello and happy birthday, John Mangini.
How's everybody doing? I'm all by myself on my birthday. My wife's plane got canceled from Germany. So, made myself a drink. I think we'll go live here. Now, somebody, hey, let me find that comment. Obviously, wasn't born prematurely. I actually was born prematurely.
Wow.
I
Ever since
actually,
then, yeah.
I almost died at birth. So did my mom,
Ooh.
and we were given the last rites. So I'm good to go. I already had them. That's why I could be reckless.
Yeah. Just everything's a borrowed time now. So
I thought we could have a little discussion and take some questions.
yeah, we better because I'm not prepared for this. So just feed questions and we'll just take it from there.
Thanks, Hugo. Yeah, I didn't give Eddie any advance notice. So Rick reached out and he's like, "Hey, let's go live for your birthday." And I said, "Okay." So I set it all up and I sent him the link and he said, "Well, I'm at Costco. I'll be home in an hour." So I'm like, "All right." So that's what the delay was.
Man, he dropped you on that one.
What do you guys want to discuss tonight? Peter B, thank you. Borrowed time, yep.
Oh. Hey, John, 1 second. I got to go turn the TV off that's on in the next room.
Okay.
Just be a second.
John and guest, if you were, well, let me put this up here. If you were forced to play or collect only one player, who would it be? Well, my guy's Clemente. We'll find out who Eddie's is.
Plus, it's like 2 seconds after.
Warren Deese in CLE. It's my birthday. Thank you, Stephen, with a PH. All right, so the question is, if you were forced to play or collect one player only, who would it be?
Ooh. Is the ball in my court here?
Yeah. I went with Clemente.
I'm going to go with Brooks Robinson because I could still collect vintage. I could collect somebody I admire, and he has a great catalog of cards.
Wait, who did you say?
Brooks Robinson.
Brooks Robinson.
Yeah.
Such a good guy.
Yeah.
Such a great player.
Is that TV still on?
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, I've been looking for his. I'd want to buy it in person. I know I could buy it off eBay, but the 64 stand up, is it stand up or batter up? Stand up.
Stand up.
There's one behind you almost all the time. And I just, whenever I go to a national or a big show, I see other players from that set, but I can never find the Brooks that I want. But that is on my list for this year.
I'll tell you, that Brooks Robinson card is fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't had that behind me for a long time. I actually put it away.
Well, bring it back out. Birthday party.
That was the Clemente behind me. And that's a great set. So those cards only came one per pack, which is one of the reasons they're scarce.
Were those issued with regular whatever tops cards?
They were separate issue.
Also, it was a one card pack.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of those secondary packs they're generally more scarce.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go shut that TV off one more time. It's the reverb is.
All right. Do I collect any vintage non-sport historical figures? I have a few. Not a whole lot, but I do have some. I have a Pocahontas card. Who did I just get? I just got a Mozart card at a card show recently. I couldn't pass it up. I had to have it. It was so cool.
Vintage non-sports historical figures.
You?
I picked up and put down a look and see Billy the Kid at the National, and I regret doing that because now I wish I had it. But if I see it again, I'll get it because I've got a low-key obsession with Billy the Kid.
I didn't even know he was in the look and see.
Yeah. I believe it was a look and see. Well, anyway.
Are those from? They did 2 of those, didn't they? Wait, are you talking about the what was it? 67?
I don't even know.
The 50. What was the other one? 52.
I wouldn't even know. I don't know enough about the set to say which exact one he was in.
I have. I just have the Babe Ruth. That's the only one I have from that. I think it's 52. And then the other set was what's that other set from? One was 52. One was 54. The one where Jesse Owens is racing a racehorse, and there's a Bob Feller in it. There's a Ruth in it. Why am I drawing a blank on that? Top Scoops. That's 54, right?
Yeah.
Who can confirm?
That sounds right.
3D 80s kid still needs a Bach card.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know any other Valentine's Day babies.
Thank you.
I know 2 people that were born on the 15th.
Thank you, Jesse. You know 2 people are born on the 14th?
On the 15th. But you're the only actual Valentine's birthday I know of.
Sports card Shaq. He's a Valentine's baby.
Oh, nice. I'm trying to figure out what that Billy the Kid.
I know you're trying to get an example of every card set. Ballpark, how many do you think there are? Oh, man. I don't know. I've never counted. There's a lot. When I first set out on this quest, I did not realize how many, just simply due to all the regional issues. Those are the tough ones. Because they're not, they're not as readily available. Many of the regional issues are scarce or downright rare. And in the vintage days, man, many of the cards were regional, if not all of them. I mean, your T206s are common, but when you get into the Oxford Confectionery and the Willard Chocolate and all of those tended to just be in certain areas. A lot of them were in Pennsylvania. That's where those companies were. They didn't have the mass distribution like they do today, huh, Eddie?
No, they didn't. Yeah, regional's really tough.
Happy birthday. Were you visiting Myrtle Beach? So I live in Murrells Inlet. That's where I moved to back in 2004 when I left Pittsburgh. And that's kind of my main home. This is a secondary place in Charleston. My wife got a job down here. I work from home. So I had to get a place down here and just never left. It was supposed to be temporary.
A lot of things in life that are supposed to be temporary end up not
being temporary. Yeah, so I used to travel. I'm in wireless telecom, and I would travel to whatever city was building out their network. So I always had another apartment or something. Mm-hmm. And when I moved back here, I finally got settled, and now I don't feel like going anywhere because I was always traveling. And then from here, I worked in Baltimore, and I would fly out every Sunday night and fly home every Friday night. And I did that for 2.5 years. I worked in Pittsburgh a little bit too. Just exhausting. And it's really hard to look at your baseball cards. And then it's really hard to hide your cards from your wife because I would come home and she'd put a stack of cards on the stairs. Stack of envelopes. Every week I'd come home.
That's great.
Yeah, I took some pictures. Just I saved them. It was funny. Thank you, Eric.
So what's your favorite like birthday memory, like as it relates to baseball cards or sports or anything like that? Like particular gift or sporting event you went to, or how can we tie in baseball
Nothing
cards?
on my birthday. Nothing on my birthday.
Hmm. Yeah, not me either, really. Unless I get like a gift card from somebody for eBay or something, and then I go spend it. But usually I can't associate what I buy with the person because really I got the gift card. And even at that, like I don't tend to get those very often. So
Yeah, people don't know what to get me, so I don't get cards for gifts. My mom will get me little things here and there. She always has.
yeah,
Um, but they don't know, and I have near sets of everything. So
yeah. Like what are they going to get? I mean, I think my wife, she'd probably be willing to get me something, but without knowing. And then if I'm telling her exactly what it is, it's on eBay, and she's just not a part of that world. Like she doesn't have an account and all that stuff. So it's
right,
fine.
yeah,
She
and I
takes
mean my
care of
wife will give me something if I told her, but
yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
bother.
I got no complaints. So, but that's just really not like a part of that
Yeah,
birthday
Lou
celebration.
Rock he just gives his wife the link or
Yeah,
whatever and says, "Buy me this."
yeah, yeah. It works for him. That's great. Yeah. What's
How could
Carl?
you find anything that's not already in your collection?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
cards are endless, man. There's always something to find. It is amazing how many vintage cards are out there. I didn't even realize. And growing up and being before the days of eBay and YouTube, you just didn't see these cards. You didn't even know they existed. So I would get the standard catalog of baseball cards and just look through there. But
Hmm.
that was an evolution too. They didn't have all the sets. Some of them weren't checklisted. There are some newer sets. I checklisted a set in there for Bob Lemke one time. I had a early '60s, I think it was '61 Dodger photo pack, and it wasn't in there, so I checklisted it for him and sent him pictures.
Did you have the entire photo pack though?
Yes.
And how would you know?
Well, it was with the envelope. I had them all.
Oh, okay. I guess that's good enough. Yeah. Yeah, those photo packs, there's some. Did you watch the 48?
You're in Surfside? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, did you watch the
Surfside is like
48?
5 minutes from where my place is.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just saying, did you watch the 48 Cleveland Indians show that they did on For Collectors with Dan's Vintage Baseball PC and
I
Randy
haven't yet. I just got back from
Warren?
my other. I just got back from my other place. My dad had some minor surgery, and it's on his foot, and I had to help him get around for a
Yeah,
couple of days. So I'm a
yeah,
little
it's
behind.
yeah. If you get caught up on that one, Scott showed off some of his picture pack photos, and some of them are like absolutely stunning. There's the Bob Feller. It's like a landscape format, and they dated it to pretty early in his career, like the late 30s, and it's just absolutely stunning photo. I tend to think of picture packs as like portraits or pose photos, but some of them are still really nice.
Yeah, the 48 and 49, I have those with the envelope. That's the 48 has they both have Satchel Paige in it, which is
Hmm.
nice. So I have both of those. Man, I bought my first photo pack, and I mean these things are just like perfect condition. It was like $105 for the whole thing.
Hmm.
I miss the old days before the boom when everybody drove up the prices. Hey, we have a happy birthday here from Canada. What part of Canada? Oh, wait, I'm going to have to charge you a tariff to come in here.
Good stuff. How many are in the chat? 41.
41. Okay, here we go. What are a few cards at the top of your want list right now? Oh, let me go back. Somebody had I took it off. Somebody was asking the last time we opened packs. When's the last time you opened a pack?
Myself, almost a year ago, I opened when Flagship comes out. I opened one pack just so I can say that I did, and I bought myself a pack and opened it on camera, and it got like double the views of my average video because I guess that's something people like seeing. But that's pretty much it. Unless, I mean, there's something I'm forgetting about. Like somebody just handed me like a high pop. Oh no, at the National, I opened I think it was an 88 tops. Drew passed out packs to people at the frat house. And if you didn't pull a Hall of Famer, you had to eat the gum. That was the agreement. And I did not pull a Hall of Famer. But Drew gave me his Alvin Davis that he got, so I felt better about that.
Yeah, I opened up the 2024 Bowman were the last ones I opened up. I opened some tops, and I opened the mini, the 75, the Heritage.
Yeah,
I went a little hog wild on the Heritage because 75 is one of my favorite sets. I think those are the last ones I opened.
mm-hmm.
The Bowman Chrome. Those are the last ones I opened.
Yeah, John had to eat gum.
Montreal. Oh, wait, I love Montreal, man. I used to stay at the Queen Elizabeth. Love Montreal. Love Toronto too. Love Canada. Used to go up there quite a bit.
I've only been to Vancouver on field trips when I was younger, and that's because it's just the closest major city, and it's probably been close to 40 years since I've been to Canada at all. For whatever.
Yeah, I used to go a lot and go up to CN Tower, have dinner. They had the best Broadway shows there. You know, you could get in, so it was nicer than New York. And then they had these off Broadway shows, and I went to see Singing in the Rain, and it was like an off production off the main drag on Yonge Street, which is the longest street in the world. I discovered. I took a cab to. I had to go to a 1,000 and some street, 1,000 and some number, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I got off at 100 and something, and I started to walk, and then I realized that I was miles away, so I had to get another cab. But that was the best production I had ever seen. I really enjoyed that. And I used to get, when I would come back across to the United States, I would get ice wine. Canada is like the only place you can find this ice wine. And they make it, it's called ice wine because, Canada is I think it's the only place or one of the few places that the grapes freeze. And they make them when the grapes freeze. It's a dessert wine.
So what's better, that or the ices you were talking about in your video earlier?
Ices. Nothing beats an ice. They're a slush puppy.
Australia. We're global, John.
We're global.
We're coming in from all parts of the world to.
What time is it over there? It's got to be in the morning.
I have to believe.
Buy singles only.
That's why I do that pack exercise. I buy a pack, I spend whatever, $8 on it. That pack maybe. And I could have bought all the cards that I probably want out of this set for $8 and whatever. But I like to do it as an exercise. So I actually looked for some today, but didn't see any.
Yeah, so when you buy modern cards, do you buy raw or graded now?
I buy very, very, very little modern cards, and I just look for singles off eBay that are raw, and I stick them in my whatever. Usually it's like a Mariner that I like in a particular card that speaks to me, and I learned a long time ago not to collect modern players, because at some point you just can't keep up with all like the parallels and everything, and then pretty soon you have shoe boxes and shoe boxes and shoe boxes of cards. Then the guy retires and you're like, what do I do with this stuff? But so if I see a really cool Cal Raleigh card, he's my favorite Mariner right now, Like I'll spend a couple dollars on that, and that'll be that. And I'll have the one card I want, and I didn't spend hundreds of dollars trying to pull it for no reason.
Yeah, with the modern flippers, I'm just gonna start when I buy singles of modern chrome cards and stuff. I always would get them raw. I mean, I never had any issues, but with all the flippers now, I gotta I think I gotta go graded on modern. I'm more worried about modern than I am vintage, and I'll tell you why. Because like there's a guy on YouTube, and he sells his strategy and says he made $5 million doing this. He buys raw cards on eBay and grades them, and hopes for a certain percentage of tens, and then he sells the tens. And I don't believe him, but that's what he claims. So all these people, these flippers, that's what they're doing. Like they're opening packs or breaks or buying them on eBay, and they're grading them. And so many people on eBay now have very low feedback, not percentage feedback, but not a lot of feedback. They'll have like a 40 feedback or 100 feedback. And I've always bought from the reputable sellers, and they would have thousands of feedback. So these guys are just new. And I'm of the opinion now that if that card was sharp, they would grade it and sell it for more. And I think they're just putting their rejects on there. So they're going to have some flaws on it. I got a card that had a big scratch on it, not visible in the photo.
Yeah.
I got a refund, but the point is, like, I don't know how the picture didn't show this scratch because it was so blatant. But I think you're just getting rejects because the flippers are grading these cards. They're not going to sell them raw unless they have a flaw, or they came back a 7 or an 8 or something. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, two things. I think there's probably a lot behind what you're saying. I know the cards that I'm buying are so low end that no one's really going to send them in anyway. But if it was the hard to pull Paul Skeens from 2024 product and it's not graded, you have to ask yourself, why is it not graded? If graded in even a 9, it's a $200 card, and it's not graded and it's a $10 card. I think you have to ask yourself that question. And John, I know you have a lot of thoughts on grading, but I almost feel the same way about vintage. If somebody has a really nice 55, Sandy Koufax rookie, 55, and it's not graded, I have to ask myself, why is that card not graded if it's a $2,000 card graded and it's a $200 card ungraded? To me, it probably was graded and it came back with some issue. And so they cracked it out and stuck it out in their case. Same kind of thing.
Yeah, I trust vintage more than modern these days, to be honest with you. Now, the big cards, I mean, I think everybody feels that way. That's why you don't have a choice but to grade it if you want to sell it. But a lot of it has to do with the provenance. When I was at the National, it was unbelievable, and you were there, how many raw vintage cards there were.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in Atlantic City. When I was in Atlantic City, there were more raw. And it's like these dealers are buying, collections from guys who are old and selling them. And they don't want to spend the tens of thousands of dollars to grade them all. And they're just putting them out there. Or maybe they got them right before the National. I don't know. Like, you look at the Grail collection. Those didn't come back with any issues whatsoever. And they got steals. Many of them were grading 4s and 5s.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of times
Most of them.
Whole collections.
And you look at that Mickey Mantle that sold for $12.5 million. That was in a screw down for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was graded right before it went to auction.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it has to do with the provenance, is my point, which you don't always know. Right. But there are a lot of older guys out there like me who have tons of cards from forever.
Right.
And it just wasn't I know it happened. Everybody wants to always say how bad it was back then, but it wasn't my experience back then. Everything I had sent out for grading got a good grade. I didn't have any trimmed, no fakes. It wasn't my experience. So I don't know if it was just where I grew up, but I never had any issues. I never had any issues on eBay or anything.
Yeah, I think for myself, for someone that has to be very careful with their budget, if you know what I mean, I can't take any chances if I'm buying. Just keep using that 55 Kofax as an example. I'm always going to look for one in a slab, so I have that reasonable assurance, because I can't afford to lose the, whatever, end up with one that's not let's say it's totally fake. Like, to lose that much money, that might be a quarter of my budget for the whole year.
So could you tell a fake 1972 Topps card?
Could I tell a fake?
73, 74, 75, 76?
I would think so.
I'm just asking because I've never seen one.
Right. I get what you're getting at. Yeah.
What I find funny is people that won't touch a raw one, but they'll buy an altered graded one. They won't touch a raw one because it might be altered, but they'll buy an altered one in a slab.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't quite get. But.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's different for every scenario and what you're doing with your collection, and how is it altered? Is it mid-size, or did it say likely trimmed, or everyone's different, but
yes, I do own Montreal Expos cards. Absolutely. In fact, I have a couple of Expos shirts and a hat. That's one of the greatest uniforms ever. And of course, my man Al Oliver played for them. And Ellis Valentine. What a cannon of an arm he had. Now, I think he played 10 years. If that guy played longer, man, he was a great player. But he had a cannon of an arm.
He has a card. I think it's his 56 Topps. It's just awesome. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah, that's right, John. Exactly. That's why the cards I would never buy raw are the Jordan rookie. The Jordan rookie, I don't want to say never, but the Gretzky rookie, they make some good looking fakes. However,
Pete Rose.
I have one, and I could tell that one. But that Jordan rookie, man, all the cards from that era, like the newer cards are easier to fake than the old ones, because you can match that printing and everything. You can't match the cardboard for T206 realistically. I've never seen a realistic looking one. But certainly the Jordan rookie, the Gretzky rookie, you have to be careful with. The Jackie Robinson Leaf, of course, the 52 Mantle. And, of course, all the beat-up fakes they have of the T206 Hannes Wagner with a Piedmont back, like we're morons. Didn't have a Piedmont back. 70s Renaissance is coming soon. It's been in this house, buddy.
I'm 70s Renaissance. 74. John, you got a couple of years on me. Do you mind saying I'm 51?
Yeah, I mind saying.
I know you're older than me. It's not by a lot.
I just turned 57.
57. So bad.
I'll tell you, life goes by in a blink.
Let's start a new Brave set.
Okay, here's a question. Vintage card collector. What's the oldest cards each of us own? What's your oldest card, Eddie? It's handy.
I don't know if this counts because it's a trade card, but it's got a baseball figure on it. And this is really cool. 1878 Forbes. And it says home run at the top. And there's the company stamp at the bottom, Clothier. It's this gangly looking character. It's just so weird. I think there's 6 of these, and they all have different funny looking guys on them. But one would say out, one says home run, one says foul ball on and on and on. And I would love to get the others too, but 1878. That's my answer.
Well, it's interesting because my oldest one is 1878. I have that baseball card. Well, it was multiple sports set. I have the baseball and the golf. It was a biscuit company out of Paris, but they were sold in England.
Yeah, I think
the
that's
battery. Whenever I start a new Braves team set, the first card I pick up is almost always ungraded. Just need to see as God intended first. I love that. Okay, so how do you accurately replicate the old cardboard smell for pre-war? You don't. But what you do is you get a cheap card. Like when they try to fake the T206, they'll get a fake one. They'll get a cheap real one. Then they'll take the reprint of like Hannes Wagner, and they will glue them together. They'll like skin it, and they put the image on an old T206. So I don't think they look right, but that's what they try to do. And then you can't. So you could replicate the smell that way. And then what they do, they dip them in tea, and they give them like that crinkly, tan-lined look. And if you don't know cards, it looks old. But those stand out like this once you know them.
I had a joke all loaded up, and then Peter B's was way better. So
Warren.
The Kurtz pre-war card smell kit. I'm not going to say my joke.
Maybe that's coming next. It'll be like a little spray.
Thank you. That's good. We're talking about sack fly records here.
Did you know Eddie Murray is the career? Yeah. No, I didn't.
I didn't know that either.
I did not know that.
Nice.
Is he the second? Is he the second best switch hitting home run hitter ever?
With Mantle being the first, I assume. God, he would have to be, wouldn't he? He'd have to.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren D won a 1908 fan craze Jack Taylor from me.
Nice. I think that.
And Jack Taylor. So he had I think it's 180. What was it? 187, I believe. Consecutive complete games pitched.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think it was 187. It's insane. And Ripken is the second in sacrifice flies. Man, I wouldn't have guessed Ripken. We're learning a little something tonight.
Tom's our sack fly aficionado here in YouTube sports card community.
Hey, that's a good idea. We should make candles and car scent in the Old Tops gum. Got the powdery, the Fleer gum had even more powder. Remember all the powder on it? Did you open those? Like 81 Fleer?
Yeah, I didn't open card dating that far back, but I know what you mean. It's got that, it's like flour, coating, so it doesn't stick to cards like your baby ropes. Which that's really cool that you put that in a Meg Pro like that. I love that.
Well, you know what? I was trying to figure out how to keep it. It's stuck there. So I happen to have I had one 100-point Mag Pro laying around because I kept trying them and it was too thick. And it fits perfectly. If anybody has those with gum stuck to it, the 100 is the one that it fits. Fit perfectly. No movement. Because I've opened some vintage packs and a lot of times the gum's broken. Mm-hmm. And me and Dan from Dan's Vintage PC, I think we're the only two fools that put our gum in semi-rigids.
Yeah. I'm getting a text from Lou. I'm going to try to get him on here if he's at home.
Oh, I could send him the link.
Yeah, why don't you? I might need support here in a minute. I don't know if I can stay on forever, but
I
was just
he's reaching out to you?
What was that?
Wait, Lou Rock?
Yeah.
Hey Lou, I texted to you earlier. It's just check the Misfits text.
I can't carry this show forever, John. We need some other people in here. You're not doing your part right now. You're taking your birthday off. I was just going to say about that Forbes card. That's the only 1800 card that I have. So I have a big gap between that and I think the OBAC I have is like a 1910. So I have a bit of a gap there, but
I have to fill that gap in.
yeah, I don't know. It would have to be something for, like the Glory of the Times collection or whatever, which is just kind of in its infancy right now.
All right, here, Hodges. I wonder what the hierarchy is if a Sharp 71 Topps Clemente has a small stain on it and has initials on the back. What do they put on the flip? Stain or marked? That's a good question. I've never seen one with 2 qualifiers. Have you? Has anybody? I've never seen one with 2 qualifiers.
Hey, let's just also throw in the mix here. What if it's horribly off center?
Well, how about you just send it to SGC and get a 1?
That's probably what I would do anyway.
That's one of my pet peeves with grading is when you have, I was just talking about this, when you have an old postcard from like 1909 and it was mailed and it has the stamp from 1909 and it has a note from one brother to another brother and it's going to get a 1, like that is just, I would never grade that. I would never grade it because it doesn't deserve a 1. It's actually, in my opinion, more of a historical artifact than just the card. I think it should get an 11.
I think I would agree. I would be inclined to agree.
Go do it, Dave. It takes me back. That's why I love the Venezuelan cards, because that's the way we collected back in the day. We didn't pay so much attention to every little flaw in the card, and we have to describe it to everybody, and we have to apologize for having it. And, the Venezuelans are the way you collected as a kid. It wasn't about condition. It was just about having the damn card.
Yep, glue them into a scrapbook. Yeah, I don't remember scrutinizing cards really until I don't even know. I mean, I just started seeing other people do it. But even then, I don't think that I do it all that much. I don't even think if I'm to show a card, like I didn't tell you, oh, this is a 1.5 and here's why, because it has these things on the back where it was glued, and I just showed the card. I'm more inclined to do that because look at the cool cartoon on that. I mean, that's why I have it.
Hey, you know me. I could care less about that number. I don't like the number because it's it's a low, stupid number. Nobody wants a 1 on their cards. No card deserves a 1. Come on.
So if somebody
hey, John,
asked
I just texted you the link. Join on here and make your point. What's this? Wait. Oh, wait. I passed it. If you rate women with flaws on a 1 to 10 scale, then cards were surely to follow. I rate them on a drink scale, 1 to 10 drinks. So a 1 or a 0 is the best looking woman.
Right. It's the inverse scale. Yeah, I get it.
That's what we did in college anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then girls were really flattered when you called them a 10.
Yeah, I imagine.
How can you get the Mag Pros in Canada? They don't ship to Canada. So their Zion cases is where you can order them directly. But I've found, and I've posted them in the description of some of my videos, my recent videos. You can buy them on Amazon now. I would imagine Amazon would ship them to Canada, no problem.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got my first big lot bulk lot of them from Amazon because I was able to take advantage of the free shipping, Prime or whatever, and that took the average price way down on those. So that's actually great.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were on there. I just recently saw that. But I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, I ordered a batch last Saturday, and they haven't shipped yet, which is highly unusual for them. Um, they usually ship right away. So they were running like a 45% off sale, and I have a feeling they got inundated. They must be behind. I'm gonna reach out and see where my order is.
Yeah, you need your kickback for doing their promotion. What
Yeah,
percent?
I mean, I I should get to some sort of sponsorship.
Something. You do it for the love, man. And every card you put in a Meg Pro is a card you don't have to grade, right?
You know, I shout out products I like, you know, because I figure if I like them, other people will like them.
Yeah.
Like I just got these quick folds from BCW. These but they're
Yeah.
you know, you
I
use
saw
the
that video
vault,
where you were showing that off.
the graded vaults, and
They just pop right
so
open.
these
Huh?
it just pops open and turns into a box, and then these white things you peel them off, and they're sticky, so they stick the box, and then it has a flap. Because you know what I do is with the cardboard ones, I'm always taking the tops off, and I have multiple things open, and I'm putting cards away, and then I put the wrong lid
Yeah.
back on a thing, and
Yeah.
then I can't find cards, and
Mm-hmm.
I have lids laying all over the place. These are nice. Now, it's important to note that these are a little shorter, so they hold less cards than the longer ones, but they're easier to store because those long vaults, you know, they stick way out of my cases.
It's a little
You can
flap
see
there,
them
like
behind me.
magnetic. Like,
Yeah, it's magnetic,
okay, I love that. Nice.
and they're better looking.
Yeah, I like the black.
And then you could put a label there or write what's in there. What non-sports item have you flipped for the most money to buy cards?
Like non-sports collectible or just anything?
For me, I sold my wife's old designer purses. That's the truth.
I'm trying to think. I'll have to think about that. But that's definitely something I've done. You just things you're not using anymore or whatever. Man, I'll have to think about that. That's a good question. Laser weld 9 card sheets.
You mean these?
Boom. He's got them.
I actually just got some. I've been on a binder kick last week, and I had a bunch of really old binders, you know, sets I put together, and some of the I couldn't find pages down here at one point, so I bought these cheap ass Ultra Pros, and they're real flimsy, and I wanted to replace them, so I bought some of those. What's up, John?
Hey, happy birthday, John.
Thank you. Thanks for celebrating with me.
And I have to say also, congratulations, Eddie. Well deserved.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. And both of you, thank you for votes. As you saw, it was every vote counted. Every vote mattered. So thank you. I got my patch a couple days ago. I have it right there. If you're on a big TV, you might be able to make it out. But haven't really made a video since then. But done plenty of lives. Just that count.
Hey, cardboard and plastic. I wanted to address this. So Columbia Hobby is where I always bought my Mag Pros, but recently, I don't know if they have they don't have too many available, and their prices went up. I think Zion is trying to get away from using certain vendors. I think they're trying to get more direct. I don't know what your luck was, but I used to always get them from the eBay store because they were cheaper. But for me, they're on the other side of the country, so their shipping takes a little longer than everybody else's to get to me. And I'm very impatient when I'm out of my holders. I need more. John, you have any Mag Pros or everything going into an SGC?
Just a couple samples that I've gotten is about all I've got. So yeah, everything my display wise, I end up sending to SGC. So
now the displays you get, are those Pananzi What brand are those?
It's the same one that Lou Rock did the commercial for on that video. What's that? A couple years ago now that are Amazon. So
Oh, you get them from Amazon?
yeah, they're way cheaper than most things you can get. So I mean, I filled up my wall when they had a special on them that was only like $50 a piece. So
Yeah, there's a company, I'm trying to think, Penzoni or something. And that's where I got all of mine. And they used to sell them on eBay. And I don't know, they probably had their own website too, but I get them on eBay. They had small ones, and they're easier to hang. And they were like $35 back then. And then the bigger ones like your size were like 79, I think. And then I have one that's huge, takes up like the whole wall. And I didn't want any more of those. It's too big. And I can't remember how much they were, but they had like 3 different sizes, and then you could get them for graded cards or ungraded cards. So I kind of got a mix. The ungraded ones are great for sideways cards, even if they're graded, they fit. And then there's not a lot, when you put them in the regular, there's a lot of black space back there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get the ungraded ones and put all your sideways in them, it looks better.
yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I'm a little discouraged with sideways cards is there's not really anything made, for those. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't like to see sideways cards displayed up and down. I don't want to see my Sandy Koufax rookie or Clemente rookie sideways. Okay, who's going to Strongsville? You're going, right, John?
Oh yeah.
You going, Eddie?
No, national winning for me.
I'm on the cusp. I don't know yet. I probably will, but I don't know yet.
Superior.
Okay, so Superior Fit sleeves. They make sleeves for just about everything, but I guess they're a Canadian company. And if you go on their website now, they're trying to figure something out. They're going to be back soon, but with the unknown of tariffs and stuff, they are trying to sell in the United States, I guess. Right now, they're sourced from Canada, but their stuff's amazing. Crystal clear, perfect fit. At first glance, you won't even know there's a sleeve on there. In fact, all the cards I show have sleeves on them, and you probably wouldn't even know that. I have them for, man, whatever you want. Whatever you have, they make them for. They make them for semi-rigids. They make them for Mag Pros. They make them for one-touches, all kind of different sizes. They even have, they make them for cards themselves. So you can use those instead of a penny sleeve. And they're nice for relic cards. The thicker ones, if you keep them in a top loader, you put them in that first, and they present really great. And they also make them for like Topps coins, graded Topps coins. Strongsville is April 11 to 13. Oh, that's when the Masters is.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah, for me.
So John, John, oh, I'm sorry, Eddie, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I only have enough domestic capital, if you will, to pull off one big card show a year. Because for me, it always means a flight. It always means hotels, being up here in the upper left. Right, John? And so anyway, yep. I always just say the National is my thing. And plus April's when we start doing like our state standardized tests and stuff. And I can't really, I have to work every day. So anyway, I'll be watching, take lots of footage and upload it to YouTube.
John, you've come a long way with your collection. I remember when you started, you had like 3 cards back there. And you had, now look at all those displays.
Yeah, if you watch my intro still and look what's behind me in the back when I say I am the 3-80s kid at the start of that, I got one case behind me, and that was actually a gift from my wife when I first said I wanted to collect cards again. So she's awesome. But
And that room is actually like the corner of your bedroom or something, right?
this is the far wall of our bedroom.
Okay, and now I gotta ask, how many more cases before your wife starts saying, "Wait a minute"?
I filled up this whole wall.
It's just your
It's
wife
a wall
is
of
a saint.
cases.
Your wife is a saint.
Well, when the whole work from home COVID lockdown stuff started, then this end of the bedroom got forced into being my work desk office that we had to create. So
yeah,
because I already got a full house with 3 teenage boys and my dad living downstairs in the master bedroom. So
how is the
yeah.
missus, by the way? How's she doing?
my wife is doing much better. And I'm actually able to be here tonight because she just she's getting on a plane soon to fly to Orlando to go to Disney World with one of her best friends. So
Nice. I'm glad to hear she's doing well.
Yeah, every time I watch a video, I see you have more and more and more cards. What's your last pickup?
my most recent would be the E220 Hornsby. So
Nice.
which being as how that one was a barely ever pops up card, it shocked the hell out of me when I looked at the latest REA and there's another one. And
that's what they call a heightened awareness or your reticular activation system. It's like you can drive on the road for a year and not see a car, and then you buy it or somebody that buys it, and every other one you see seems to be that same car. You have a heightened awareness. Now, I just had a very rare card lost in the mail, stolen from UPS, and I may never see another one. And it just breaks my heart. I want to cry. I couldn't even believe that I found one of these to purchase. And it went out to California because it should have never been stolen because it went for eBay authentication. And this is what I always say about authentication. You're sending it, in the mail 2 extra times, and something can happen. And that's exactly what happened. Went to Riverside, California, and never left. And it shouldn't even have been in California. And it is one of the rarest cards in the hobby. It's a newly discovered set back in like 2010s. And I'm just sick over it. Not because I missed out on I'm sick that they lost this rare card. But somebody's probably going to try to sell it to a dealer or something. I have the
who's on
serial
card?
number and everything. I'll see if it pops up.
Can you say who the card is of? Or
It was a Hornsby.
okay.
Yeah, I was in a very bad mood, man. I was ready to quit the hobby because it's like you hear about these thefts every day. The seller said this is the second one in 2 weeks that went missing from UPS. I heard about somebody else that got busted for having a ring stealing cards from UPS. And, I see all these cards on eBay that I watch, and I'll watch them for a long time, sometimes a year or more. And they'll go and they pop up on Heritage or something for twice as much. And people are buying them. And it's just blowing my mind. Like you can buy them on eBay for $2,000, but they'll put them on Heritage for $8,000. Nobody will buy it for $2,000. But when it's on the auction for $8,000, people are buying it.
Well, I might be doing something that feels crazy to me, which is I might be going for that second Hornsby card. And that is because I'm going to play the game with the grading companies because I bought the first one just because I didn't know how long it would be before I'd see another one. And that one happens to be graded a 2. And the one that's popped up now is an authentic because it's a little small. So I think I'm going to buy the second one if it goes cheap enough and then use the other one to either sell or trade. So.
All right. I'm a Hornsby collector. Maybe I'll buy it from you. What's the last card you picked up, Eddie?
It's really handy here. I haven't done the video on it yet, but I don't care about double dipping.
Hey, cardboard and plastic. So I was on there today, and it said they were going to be shipping Canadian Post, but I still couldn't order. Are they now taking orders? Oh man, look at that thing.
Can you see what it is?
That is beautiful.
The bench great moments.
Turkey red.
Yeah. And the I've looked into buying some of these not encapsulated already. And I think since a lot of people did get these encapsulated, PSA changed their prices. Because I want to say for something this size now, it's like $90. And meanwhile, that's more than what I paid for this already like this.
It's $90 to get it slabbed.
Well, I would have to look it up. I just remember thinking it's so much, I would never do it. So whenever I get these, and I got the Koufax earlier this year, I always look for ones already like this, just for sake of having them kind of match.
That thing's beautiful.
Beautiful image. And
yeah.
Hey, Mark, the batter up Mo Berg. That's a tough card. Congrats. That's a tough card.
We're gonna grab his brother since we're already here. There's the Koufax.
Oh man, I'd love to get a Koufax. I'd love to get a Koufax signature.
And this represents most of my years so far. These two items, at least what it's already come in. But I love these a lot.
It's allowing you to go check out. Oh, nice. Good. I'll get back on there. I was freaking out when when I saw that. I went to order something, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get these again. The Mag Pro people, they make perfect fit sleeves for them, and they're real good quality, and they fit perfectly, but they're cloudy. They sent me a bunch, but I don't like the cloud. I don't want to cover up the card. I just find them to be cloudy. In fact, I find most of the perfect fit sleeves to be cloudy and dull the card. Especially the modern refractors. You don't want to dull that.
Yeah, when this topic first came up, I didn't say because I feel like I'm an extreme minority. I don't care for adding extra perfect fit sleeves and all that on my cards unless I'm gonna mail it or take it to a show where I'm like shuffling it with other things. If it's up here on my wall, I'm not putting it in an extra barrier between myself and the card that's just going to make it harder to see. But I know that within the hobby, and especially on YouTube, there's a real drive to get that extra sleeve, which I understand. It's not for me. So,
well, you, Eddie,
and even be a part of this. What was that, John?
A couple of things here. Number one, with these, it doesn't take away from the card at all. You can't even tell it's on. Number two, I've had cards for 20, 30 years in one touches or holders, and, they get all scratched up and everything. And if you want to reholder them, now you guys with your slabs, you don't want those all scratched up because then you got to pay to get them re-slabbed. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people ship me cards I buy with no sleeve on it. And I can't tell you how many graded slabs I got, sometimes brand newly graded, and they got a scratch on it or something. And it's like, why are you paying all this money to grade your cards and you're not protecting the slab? And I'll crack it out of there before I send it back and pay them for a re-slab.
Well, I'm extra careful. I put on my special glove and I handle those things like a baby.
I can't believe you didn't throw that away.
How can I throw this away? It's a Hall of Fame relic here.
I sent you the only game used one. All my other ones were brand new. So that's a little dirty because I actually used that in my videos for like a year.
It makes it extra special.
Now you need to send that to PSA and get it like in a holder this big with a label way up here.
Thank you.
Those ridiculous oversized holders.
Welcome. What do you guys want to in the chat? What do you want to talk about? You want to ask one of these lovely guys a question? sequins on that glove.
No, this is
I'm still thinking about what
completely natural.
Yeah.
It's funny, before I signed that and sent it to you, I had to look up when I was in the Hall of Fame because I had no idea. At my age, all the years just blend together.
Mm-hmm.
Were we ever flippers? Did you guys ever flip cards? I think John does.
If you can call it when I decide I'm not keeping them forever and then I sell them, I guess you can call it a flipper. But, you know, at the time I bought them, I had no intention of selling them. So
Yeah.
I think
nearly everybody sold cards here and there.
yeah. I was going to say at one point I've had a lot of like different collecting styles and approaches and iterations and what have you. And at one point when I was buying packs, I was thinking, what can I pull? Like so many people do now, you know, what can I pull? What can I get for what I pull? And just, I eventually got smart enough to realize that was really stupid, but it took me a while. And so sometimes I would flip stuff out of there. I remember in 2001, I was opening a ton of tops in Bowman. And in Bowman, 2001, there was a guy named Toe Nash. And he was like the great, from the cornfields, this mythological kind of figure that was supposed to be, you know, like the next thing that was just somehow discovered, you know, through the back channels or whatever. And people were paying like $10 for Toe Nash cards. And so I would flip those, and I was happy to do that. There were a couple others I flipped from 2001. I wish I hadn't, and I'll let you fill in the gaps on who that could be. But
well, how much is this worth now? Look at
that. Well, that one doesn't have the YouTube inscription on it, so we'll have to get it updated.
Hey, John, Pastor Craig's asking you what you're targeting at the Strongsville show. Hey, Rick.
Hello, everybody.
Are you back from Costco?
Just came back from Costco.
Hey, you know, that's a nicer background than your wife's teacups.
I'm telling you.
Hey, baseball cards.
I don't know if I'm going to have any money by the time I get to Strongsville. There's so many good cards that are getting put in auctions lately.
I know, it's hard to say no. And then, you know, God forbid if I'm at happy hour and something pops up, I get those happy hour muscles where I don't care. I just hit that buy button.
I mean, I've already paid for my room and my plane ticket, so I may just be going to hang out and have fun. So,
hey, Lou Rock, jump on. You have the link in the text. So, Rick, what's the last thing you picked up? Something big.
What did I pick up?
He was just at Costco. He's got a 5-gallon drum of I can't believe it's not butter.
39 play ball DiMaggio.
Wow.
Never had it. First time, 39. And what else I get?
You want to talk about the cards you flip?
I'm gonna have to flip some more. I'm telling you. Oh, I picked up this one. I'm building at least a Hall of Fame set. The speaker. So I think I'm down to the Addie Joss and Chance and Tinker. Those are the three I still need.
You know, that sucks because I need the Addie Joss, and you're gonna be snaking it from me at the National.
Now there's one on eBay. That thing is way overpriced, man.
That card is so expensive. I just always refuse to pay that for it.
I know, that's the problem.
But if you want to complete the set, you need it. It's kind of like the Eddie Matthews rookie card in 52.
Because he passed away, Joss. So they did like a little tribute card for him, and on the back it kind of explains, kind of his story, and he passed away. And that's
it's awesome, but it's not even a playing days card.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, why would you want that post playing days card?
I know. But if you're going to build a Hall of Fame, I'm down to 3. There's roughly about 28 Hall of Famers in the set, something like that.
You got that 39 play ball DiMaggio, and I've got this, so it's same thing, right?
There we go.
I love those cards. They would put those in baseball card collecting kits, and I collect the collecting kits because I remember how fun they were when I was little.
It was funny because in our little Misfits text chat, I show the Misfits, hey, I picked up this one here. So 2 minutes later, John throws out a 3 or 4, and George throws out a 4 or 5.
No, I threw out a sample.
Even more a sample. So it's like, oh my, forget it. I'm going to go in my corner,
Yeah, and with how many years ago they bought them, they probably paid less than you did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't buy that long ago. It was probably right around the boom that I bought that one. I found it. But our Misfits text is fun because somebody will throw out a card and then everybody else will try to match it. I call it the match game. And then I'll mess with Rick. I'll be like, Rick, you up? You up?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Ruben calls it a Joe D measuring contest.
Exactly. And so then I show that, and then John throws out about 10 more different years, and oh my God.
You do the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm not.
He'll get a card it's like there's one in the world, and he'll be like, John, you have one of these? Just to rub it in.
Anyway. Yeah, who's got the bigger exactly.
Oh, this is a good question. What's your oldest Topps blank back card? He has a 75 Jim Palmer. For me, the years that were most common to find blank backs out of packs, and I know this because I opened them, was 78 and 79. And it's really unusual to find blank backs before that time. And I've seen some from the 60s, and they're very hard to find. And I've never seen one from 75. So that's probably very, very scarce.
I have a blank front Smith card. 70-something. So it's missing a blank front, just the back. Really? It's actually they graded it. SGC. It's of course authentic, but
I never saw that. Hey, Peacemaker Cards, do you know Walter Hagen's famous saying? It's one of my favorites. I have Walter Hagen cards. In fact, I just picked up a Bobby Jones, and I couldn't believe how cheap it was. So damn cheap. It's like my 4th or 5th Bobby Jones card. I'm telling you, vintage, if it's not one of the big cards, they're giving them away.
And those are beautiful set. All those the Churchmans are beautiful cards. They just didn't make baseball cards. I mean,
they are beautiful.
Fantastic looking cards.
The boxers, the golfers.
Yeah. So what are you guys talking about? I was at.
So Walter Hagen's famous saying was, he'd spray the ball all over the place, and then he'd make a brilliant recovery. And his saying was, 3 bad shots and 1 great one still makes par. Oh, Mark has a blank back front too from 74. He thinks.
Yeah, I'll get mine. So pull it out. I was gonna have
a blank front.
I was gonna have Scott draw the Mike Schmidt on the front for me.
Henriette, he had Gary Lucas sign it. That's cool. Ever hit a hole-in-one? So I was on this kick where I was golfing like every day. And I've only ever had 2 hole-in-ones. And do you know that they were both in the same month? They were like a month apart. I had them back to back. Oh, the one was beautiful. When they came out with that Nike ball, it was real soft and it would spin. And we had this one green and it was tilted towards us. And you used to, when I would play with this ball, I would have to aim for the back of the green because it was always spin back. And so I hit it to the back of the green. It landed on the back of the green, and the pin was towards the front. It was a big green. and that sucker rolled back about 25 feet and curved right into the hole. I couldn't believe it. That was my first hole-in-one. My other one was a one hopper.
So here it is right here. It's an 82 Schmidt. So there's the back, and there's the front.
I've never seen one.
And they graded, whoever got it graded. Of course, it came back authentic. So
Why
I was
would you
thinking, hey, maybe
grade
have
that?
Scott draw a Schmidt for me here. Huh?
Yeah.
That's a real cult member there.
The fact that you can find that fast impresses me.
Yeah, I got them
Oh, Don.
all
You
by
did it too?
years.
Yeah, I never got another one after that, and I played for years.
Henry S. says that must have been mini golf, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where you get a little hole-in-one and you get a free round of miniature golf. You know, you put it in a little hole at the end of the.
I'm so bad at mini golf. I think I got more hole-in-ones playing regular golf. You know, I quit playing mini golf because it messes up your stroke on a real course. It's like a completely different putt.
Did you guys talk about the PSA and their centering at all?
You did. Did you want to talk about that?
No, I don't know. I'm throwing out a subject. I don't know.
We've kind of jumped around. We've just been going off chat. We talked about oldest card we own, something non-sports that we flipped to buy sports cards, which I couldn't think of my biggest thing. All sorts of stuff, but we haven't talked really. Of course, we had some grading rants, right, John? But we didn't talk specifically about the standards change. I think it's really kind of bizarre myself, but
I just it's like it doesn't affect me, you know. And people are always like, "Well, you shouldn't have an opinion because you don't send PSA cards anymore." And I'm like, that's like saying I shouldn't have an opinion. Like that's like saying because it doesn't affect me that I shouldn't worry about the people who had their houses burned in California because I don't live there. It didn't affect me. Like it's the hobby, and I do care about the hobby. And I do feel bad for people who graded these things with that standard. And what this does is it draws attention to it now. You might not have noticed or looked that much at that centering. All you know is you got a 10, and it was within the parameters of a 10. And now it's no longer a 10. And anybody you try to sell that card to is going to be, that's a 9 now. That is no longer a 10. Just like the old holders.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, when you see an old holder, if you put a picture on Facebook or somewhere, you show a person an old holder or try to sell it, they'll be like, and it's a 7. They'll be like, that's a 5 now. That's not a 7. That's an old holder. That's junk.
Yeah, but they always have changed the different standards for pre-war over the years. So, and actually, I had a couple people that are in the hobby say the centering standard was changed a while back. They just found out about it, or it was publicized. But
well, I remember I had posted. I found this off center. I think it was Joe Montana rookie card, and it was well off center, and it was a 10. And I had posted it several years ago. And I remember B Roth, he chimed in and he said, "Well, that's allowed." It's because I said, "How is this a 10 off center like this?" And I don't know. I never looked at their parameters, but at that time, and he was like, that's allowable in a 10. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. Like if it's a 10, it should be a perfect card, period. Like every 10 should look identical in my mind. If it's a perfect card, they should all look identical.
yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. You can obviously see a lot of we always joke, in the text threads, look at this thing. Why is it a 10? It's crazy. Their PSA is grading it a 10. And so when the person's buying it, they can see it's a little bit off center, or the seller, and I'm sure they're not getting top dollar for that particular card, even though it's in a 10, I would think.
Yeah, Rick, I think I know what you're saying. are you saying that if somebody had a 10, for example, here, perfect
Like this
example.
one. Like this.
So
That's
that-
still a 10.
Yeah, that is now, and is that even a 9? It might be an 8 now.
Funny
So-
thing,
No,
this
it's
is at the top of the pop report for PSA for 1980 tops.
Yeah. So
Yeah, now they won't give that card a 10 to save their lives anymore.
but it shouldn't be a
But they
10.
gave that a 10.
They should have, when they first started this thing, the grading, because SGC would not grade that a 10 because of the centering. Why is PSA that it's not a 10? I mean, it's just
Well, I mean,
not.
I agree with everything you said in your video. I mean, you have to use your own eyes. I agree with all of that. The problem is that wasn't their standard. And many people didn't pay that much attention to centering, including myself. I never paid attention to centering. I mean, I did. I was always drawn to the centered cards. I was always drawn to those as an adult collector. And I preferred those. But we were used to seeing these cards like this, 9s that were off center. This was the parameter. It could be a 9. That's how it came out of the pack, is one way of looking at it. It came out of the pack that way. That's a perfect card. There's nothing wrong with it. That's how it came out of the pack. You could look at it that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the way they looked at it.
Yeah. But
nowadays, they're producing cards that are centered for the most part. You know, the exact science, where back then they didn't. So they're probably thinking, the standards need to change here because of it. But they should have done that when they first started out.
Yeah. They're fixing wrong, probably. Probably in our opinions.
John, what do you think? Am I all messed up?
You're talking to me, John?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. To me, John.
Yeah, it does seem like they are trying to correct things, but after so many years, it just screws people that have all their cards in these older PSA holders, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, but I guess I'm looking at it because, like, I don't collect the modern stuff. I don't collect 10s. So obviously it doesn't really affect me like John's mentioning.
Well, yeah.
But are you actually collecting the card, or are you just collecting the holder? I mean, that's the whole thing. It's not centered, so.
But that's the thing. People, do collect slabs, and they bought those slabs thinking they were buying 10s. And they sent them in to be graded thinking they could get a 10 or whatever. And to me, they got screwed because that card now, I mean, what's the difference between a 9 and a 10 in that card? $30,000? And ain't nobody going to pay that for that.
Yeah, but they're not saying you have to turn that thing in. It's now a 9. It's still a 10.
No, but nobody's going to buy it because they know it's a 9.
Well, the only person paying big money for this card now is somebody wanting it for their registry score.
Exactly.
Now let me ask you this.
Most people don't care on the registry.
Because I find this to be unethical. I find this to be 100% unethical. So if that's my card and I send it in for a reholder, will they put a 10 on it?
I don't think so.
You think they'll regrade it? Because they know that's not a 10 when they receive it.
How much is it going to cost for the guarantee if they don't put a 10, though?
Well,
it's a fortune for a 10-9 difference for Ricky.
If they put a 10, they're almost criminal because it's not a 10 any longer by their own change, but because they changed the rules. Nobody else changed the rules. They changed the rules. And that should come back an 8 or a 9 now.
I mean, isn't that like a 6-figure difference for this card?
But I don't think they're going to.
It's like a $30,000 difference for this card.
They're not going to. Well, the ones I've turned in for reholders have been SGC, so I don't know. But I've had cards that don't meet the grade, and they reholder it the same grade. They don't say, "Hey, this is no longer the standard. We're going to mark it down to a 1 when it's a 2." They just put it in the 2.
But this is a problem, I think, because let's say that you have a card and you have John's displays back there, And somebody wasn't thinking, they were a newer collector, and they put that display near a window. And they had some red and yellow cards in there that are all faded. And they sent them in for a reholder. Are they going to put the same number on them, even though they're now no longer that number? They're faded. Or if you have a Kellogg's and it got a 10, and somehow it got cracked in the holder, and we see this all the time. If you send that in for a reholder, are they going to put a 10 on a cracked Kellogg's?
I don't know. I'm just
I
saying.
don't know either.
I mean, how about those old judges that are all faded out? You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah, I see those with fives,
Yeah.
4s, 5s, and you can't even see the player.
I don't know.
Man,
but they should. The problem is, somebody, a spokesperson, that Nat guy should have come on, or some press release and say, this is a reason why we're doing it. Explain his thinking. Not that people are going to be happy with it, but a question would be like that. Hey, if I turn in a damaged holder, they're going to regrade that thing now? Questions like that. But PSA, they don't. I mean, you can't even get a hold of them. I mean, it's like trying to get. I have a business, trying to get a hold of like Google or something,
Yeah, right.
There's no phone number.
Yeah, call Google. Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
So have you guys noticed that eBay has gone to absolute shit lately?
As far as
everything. I mean, if you search, so one of the frustrations is if, number one, I'm seeing way less cards on there. People must be moving away from them. And I'm hearing about, people complaining about fees. But for some reason, all of a sudden, if you search a specific card, I put I don't know, name any card set, 1952 Bowman. You'll get like a 1952 Bowman, and then you'll get all kind of other crap that has nothing to do with 1952 Bowman. All of a sudden, you're not even getting what you're searching for. That's one thing. This authentication, I just lost that beautiful, rare card because it should have never had to go to California. It has to go the whole way across twice. I've been saying forever this is going to happen because it just gives two more people, two more legs of a trip, a chance for it to get stolen or ruined. I'm so sick over this. I'm probably going to rant about this for the rest of my life because I'm not sure I'm going to get over it.
So, John, are you looking at other platforms now, like Fanatics Collects and these kind of things?
I don't know who to use. I will not use Whatnot for two reasons. Number one, they inundate me with ads all day, every day, and I hate them.
The streaming ones, right?
And number two, they support backyard break. So I refuse to buy. I won't put $1 to Whatnot. So I need to find another platform. I don't like the auction houses because I think it's bullshit. I have to pay a buyer's premium. And so I'm relegated to shows and stuff. Facebook.
Probstein, I guess, is moving off the platform and coming
I
up
don't
with his
blame
own.
him. I don't blame him. It's gone to shit. And then
Yeah,
I was all triggered when they started doing a sales tax. So I found a card on at Dean's, a big card. And so I saw it was on there, and I didn't want to pay what they were asking. So I went onto their website to see if they had it listed there. They did. And guess what? They don't charge sales tax if you buy it directly from them. So why is eBay's charging me sales tax? If you buy a card from Dean's on eBay, you're not only paying more money because they have to cover their fees, but then you're paying sales tax. If you go straight to Dean's, you buy that for, I don't know, 20%.
Well, they give you a
less.
slight discount too.
But overall, it's a lot less because you're not paying taxes. If you buy a $5,000 car, the taxes are a lot on eBay. And you're going to get it for
around $600.
But you're going to get it for $4,300 there and not have a dollar. Yeah.
I agree with you about the eBay phenomena lately because I would say over the last 6 months or more, I'm not seeing anything. My standard searches that I check every week are basically looking at everything pre-war, and it's just not there. They're all going to the auction houses.
Yeah.
I know the auction houses have blown up, and that's why I've stayed away from them. There's too many people competing to compete with. It's what I just told you earlier. I'll see something on eBay for $2,000. It'll sit there for 3 years. In fact, there was a 47 propagandist Montiel, and it was on there for at least 3 years. At least 3 years. The guy bought it for 2,000. The 2 weeks later, put it on eBay for 8,000. And I mean, just insane markup. It sat there for 3 years. Now, about a month ago, it sold at one of the big auction houses, and he got his money. Took him like 3 years to flip that, but he did it. And I just saw another one that was a similar situation, because these auction houses, you have these people bidding up for paying stupid money. That card sold for $2,000, and he couldn't give it away on eBay. He couldn't move it. I watched it for a long time, and this guy buys it and puts it right back up for $8,000. It sits there for 3 years. It goes to an auction house, and somebody pays that. And then they have to pay the buyer's premium on top of that.
Well, John, can you explain that phenomenon? Why?
Yeah,
why?
John, can you explain it?
Me?
Either of you. John.
Well, I mean, I don't understand the people that have listings on eBay that are like continually cycling over and over and over again, and they never change their price. And those ones are mystifying to me. But
yeah, there used to be a ton of pre-war 5 years ago on eBay, because you had PWCC and Probstein and Greg Morris, but now you don't, like John's saying, you just don't see it anymore. There's not.
Well, the reason that I always got deals on eBay is because you have to go looking for stuff. It's not in your face. They don't publish a catalog ahead of time and send it out to every major collector in the world. And you have to go looking for things. And sometimes I find things by accident. So when you go on to Greg Morris or Probstein, or back in the day, PWCC, you're getting outbid. And I would get outbid on those, and I would find a nicer copy for half the price, because that's where everybody's going to look. And that's what they're doing with these auction houses. So if you're just buying from your average Joe on eBay, man, you could get some deals. And I found all kind of rare stuff. But now it's all so centralized. Everybody's competing for the same cards. That's what I think.
yeah, I was able to find some good bargain stuff on eBay like a year or more ago, and it's dried up. So
yeah, I don't like to I buy some stuff from ComC, Henry, on eBay, but they don't do a good job of explaining any of the the condition of anything. And sometimes you get surprises, because you have to pick. Like if they have multiple, you have to pick which one you want, and you can't see it on eBay. I don't know. I don't go to their store. I guess if you went to their store, maybe it's different. But on eBay, it's a terrible experience, because you can't see which one.
James up there saying auction house $, which for the marquee guys, yes, but if you're going for lesser guys, I mean, there's still some stuff out there.
Yeah, you can get deals, John. You can get deals on. I mean, when you're talking big boy that are rare, no. But if you're looking for more of a common or a card, whatever, a Rod Carew or something like that, you can get a decent deal on it.
He said he got so frustrated with eBay and auction houses, he decided to stop buying cards in February. He made it almost 4 hours before he caved. That sounds like me. I quit the hobby every day.
That one there, I think, was $90.
Nice.
REA.
Yeah, so you can get some deals.
This one here was $85, same auction. And I think this one here was also $90. So
it's the ones that are talking 1K up that are going for big money, because
yeah, you go for the marquee inner circle guys, those are gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
You can get your fringe Hall of Famers and rare sets for still bargains on auctions. So
Don wants to know if anybody uses my slabs.
That's like eBay buy it now. It's the equivalent to that. It's people that put their cards on there for too much and they just sit there forever.
I would never buy from a place called Slabs.
I bought one time my slabs for a Hank Aaron. Oh, Hank Aaron, something, a rare card, and I had no issue with it. Buy it now.
Yeah.
It was a good price. Somebody sent me, "Hey, Rick, you're interested in this?" And I bought it. So
Yeah,
lake to lake, Hank Aaron. I bought.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one after you, but I got a hole punch one.
Yeah, I think
Anybody that's found a good deal on there,
The
you
one-
got good timing because people pounce, I guess, and then they're gone.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cards that are. I mean,
the lake to lakes without the hole are fake.
yeah. I think mine's like a 5, and I got it for like $350 or something like that.
That's a good
It was
deal.
crazy. I couldn't
That's a great deal.
figure out how to register fast enough to buy that.
I've been like that on eBay. It's like I see something pop up I've been looking for years, and I want to hit, and then I have to take a step back. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Check this isn't a reprint, or let me look at the card at least.
Yeah,
But I'm paranoid that somebody's going to buy it out from under me.
There's got to be something wrong, Why
Yeah.
is it cheap?
If it's a decent price, I mean, if
Like
it's too low, then you got to worry. But if it's a decent price,
Anybody that does use it, are you able to set up triggers to your phone or something so you know when you need to pounce or like?
Well, this is like for buy it now, right, John? You're saying buy it now, right?
Yeah, but are you able to set up any kind of search triggers where if somebody posts something that matches what your search is, it'll ping you?
Yeah, that's true.
thanks, James.
Because I feel like with some of those items, if it doesn't, you're going to miss it because that site is so full of not deals that when the deals go on there, I'm sure they sell fast.
Yeah.
Tim, I gotta
every
talk-
night before I go to bed. I'm looking.
I got to talk to this Tim in person one day. He makes classic comments. I don't always know how to take them. I think he probably has a sarcastic sense of humor like me. We'd probably get along well.
No, they don't exist. Got to check it on the regular. See, there's too many sites to check on the regular.
Cardboard and plastic. What is your name? I don't know your name. But you're the ones that don't have a staple or a hole, they're fake. I'm telling you. They were stuck to the milk. I have nice clean ones, and I swear to God, I'm like, these are probably freaking fake. They would be so easy to reprint. I mean, they're on shit ass paper.
John
okay.
thinks every card he doesn't have is a reprint.
All right, guys.
Clearly, this one's a fake.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely fake.
I don't have that one.
I think this is one that Fisher Bike had made for John. Because it's kind of smart alecky on the back. When he's not looking at baseball cards, John likes to play with his nunchucks.
Except Red Shanedinks. Hey, Dan. That's one of the ones I'm thinking of. You could find those in such high grade that it almost seems suspect to me. I have one. This is a funny comment. Where was it? Oh yeah, that would be an awesome subset. A pinhole subset. Oh my God, the PSA junkies would lose their friggin' minds if they came out with a pinhole subset. They'd be like throwing them in the garbage when they pulled them. All right, guys. I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah, old man's getting tired. It's late.
Yeah. This was fun. Good discussion. Hey, thanks everybody for joining. My wife, her flight got canceled from Germany, so I have to spend my birthday by myself. But now I don't have to because you wonderful gentlemen jumped on here with me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're
look at
welcome.
baseball cards.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Fart.
I don't really celebrate them anymore, but whatever.
There's really
Whatever.
no useful point to a birthday after like 25 where you can rent a car.
Exactly. That's the last one you need to celebrate. I'm with you 100%. All right, guys. Hey, thanks
Except,
everybody for joining.
Steam
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
All
All
right.
right. We'll see you
Thanks,
guys.
John.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
All right.